Hey, good evening, Ron. Yes, we are expecting landfall within the next 24 hours along the central Texas coast. Either way, it has always been a rain event here in the city of Houston, and we could be looking at some pretty substantial totals, especially along the immediate coast. So here's the very latest information that we have from the National Hurricane Center. The cone bringing it right into Matagorda Bay as a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm, exactly what it is right now, and then curving pretty sharply there to the east-northeast and moving right over the city of Houston as we get into the late evening hours of Tuesday and into the early hours of Wednesday. This is when the worst of the weather will be for the Houston area. We could see some gusty winds in excess of tropical storm force. That, coupled with the amount of rain that we have, could bring some trees down across the area and cause some power outages across the region as well. So just a heads up on that. Now, once the storm gets here, I think it exits pretty quickly as we get into the latter part of the day on Wednesday, pushing into Thursday. So again, we're looking at primarily a rain event here across the city of Houston. Here is a look at the satellite as it stands right now, a more organized system than it has been over the course of the last 24 to 48 hours. We are now seeing those thunderstorms wrapping all the way around the center of circulation. And we're seeing some of those feeder bands rotate on into the Houston area as well. However, beta is being kept in check, thanks in part to a lot of dry air and some strong wind shear in excess of 15 to 20 knots, and that has kept the storm from strengthening to a hurricane this afternoon. There's a look at the radar. The first of the heavy rain bands pushed on through here. Now we are catching a break here in the city of Houston. We are seeing some of that heavy rain pushing through Colorado County, western Wharton County, and also getting out toward the Victoria area. So a little break over the next couple of hours, but we are anticipating that rain to pick up a lot as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday, and that's where we could be looking at some really big rainfall totals, especially along the coast. So beta expected to remain a tropical storm all the way up until landfall. We are already seeing coastal flooding and a small surge along the Texas coast. Areas like San Luis Pass and others are now beginning to see some of those roadways go underwater there, and we are looking at up to 20 inches of rain there along the immediate coast, and maybe a little bit less than that as you push away from there. 3 to 10 inches for the central counties. That does include Houston, Sugar Land, and Wharton. Again, I know that's a really large spread, but some areas could see less than 3 inches. Some areas in that blue region could see more than 10 inches. This is really just sort of a wait and see thing as we see exactly what beta is going to do and how fast it's going to move through our area. Now, once you get north and west of Houston, getting out towards the Brazos Valley, may not see much rain at all, maybe 1 to 3 inches, and that will be it. So the rain gradient is going to be pretty steep, it looks like, as we get into the next 72 hours. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect for most of our region, including Metro Houston. What you see in the blue there, our northern counties are not included in this. However, a flash flood watch does encompass most of our area, and we have that storm surge warning there along the immediate coast. So here's a look at the rain chances. 100% chance of rain for today. 100% chance of rain as we get into your Monday and Tuesday, and then things begin to taper off as we get into Wednesday, and that storm begins to exit off to the east. Now here is a look at the forecast computer. We're talking about as we head into the evening hours here. This takes us into 5:30 tomorrow. Notice heavy rain all across the central and upper Texas coast. And as we get into Tuesday as well, that storm is going to do an about face and hook very hard to the east-northeast, heading right for the city of Houston and southeast Texas, bringing more very heavy rain into our region. Finally, pushing on off to the east as we get into Wednesday afternoon. And then I think things dry out pretty good as we get into Thursday and Friday. There is a look at the visible satellite, taking on more of that comma-shaped look, a more well-developed system here in the northwest Gulf. And as we were to superimpose the winds here, you'll notice that according to this, we are seeing some tropical storm force winds now moving in across the upper Texas coast. But as we take a look at the current wind speeds, I'm not seeing any tropical storm force winds, maybe some gusts. We did have a 38-mile-an-hour wind gust there on Galveston Island earlier this afternoon. Current winds are at 24, 15 miles an hour at Bush, and 16 miles an hour in Sugar Land. So as we take a look at the expected winds on Galveston Island, you'll notice the pink are going to be your gust, the blue is going to be sustained winds, really flirting with that low-end tropical storm threshold there as far as gusts go. But again, this was never a wind event for Galveston or Houston. It was always a rain event. Now, speaking of water, here is the storm surge forecast. They have upped the forecast for Galveston Bay to 3 to 5 feet, 2 to 4 feet there along coastal Brazoria and Galveston counties. Again, we are already seeing some stretches of roadway down along the west end of Galveston go underwater, especially along the Blue Water Highway. So just a heads up on that. There is a live look right now out over Galveston, 76 degrees. If you look carefully, you can see that water getting pretty close there to the seawall. So we're already beginning to lose the beaches there at the coast. So as we take a look at the next 7 days, we're looking at a 100% chance of rain for today, 100% chance of rain for your Monday and Tuesday, 60% chance as we get into Wednesday, and then finally drying it out as we get into Thursday and Friday. And you'll notice we have small rain chances in the forecast as we get into Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. That is thanks in part to the approach of a very strong cold front, which may work its way through the area, bringing a very nice taste of fall as we get into next week. But in the meantime, Ron, we're just going to continue to watch this hour by hour as this unfolds here over the next 48 hours. Again, 100% chance of rain in some areas, especially along the coast, could see rain totals exceeding 12 to 15 inches.